Hey, welcome to the LiftVT podcast where we tell life inside the mess. And today we have a wonderful guest. I'm so excited. This is Jazmin. So please, Jazmin, tell our crew all about who you are, how you got here, and my goodness, all the really crazy things you work with the veterans and it's the Alzheimer's, industry again. At Daklava seats all the way to folks in later age doing sprint training complications, which is just absolutely amazing.
So my name is Jazmin Ferrari. I own LiftVT here in Golston, Vermont, but that's not the only thing that I do. Unfortunately, I would love that to be the thing I get to do all the time, but a great part of my life is also working as development manager for the Alzheimer's Association. So working with fundraising and raising the funds for critical programs in our communities. So I do a lot with that. When I connected the two of those things, I started seeing a lot of similarities in seniors that I was working with, the care partners that are caring for their loved ones with Alzheimer's, and trying to help them find a fulfilling life as they're growing older. And so I started teaching a 2 day a week strength for seniors class with the Wilson Recreation. Um, and that's just, seated workouts. We do strength training, full body strength training with the light weights. And as I did that, I was also still working here, spending time here, doing my KPs here, running fun, unsanctioned powerlifting meets, trying to help people break down the barrier of even finding a federation that they want to be a part of, as well as I'm the United States Strongman rep for Vermont, so I run strongman events throughout the state. And then I've started training a few seniors in powerlifting specific. So how that kind of got started is National Senior Games opened at Harvard as a sport for seniors at a national level. And one woman in Vermont was like, I want to do that. And so she came and talked to me, and I ran a fun meet for seniors working with Vermont Senior Games. After I ran that meet, I then became a member of their board, their committee. And so now I get to be a part of just getting seniors to be competitive and exercise and have fun doing it and create those relationships. And so all of those pieces come together. So that's kind of what I do on a daily basis.
Yeah. And so, hearing this, what I'm getting at is like, what is that common thread that went from the Alzheimer's working with those patients now strength training folks who are over 60 high, and we're like, redefining what stress is. And what did you see in those clients that was kind of that gossamer thread, something that connects everybody that you don't typically think about when it comes to lifting, Dick and Hasley.
Yeah, so especially in the senior population, it was wanting to be strong for their families, for themselves, to be able to live independently is often what I'm seeing. So whether they're starting to lift at the recreation center, low weights, he's being able to keep balance and build up a little bit of strength, to actually coming into the gym space itself and training for a competition. The common theme is wanting to have longevity of life and be there for the people that they're close to. So how I've been able to help with that is help them get over fears of hurting themselves, be able to have confidence in themselves, and trust me in the process of how we're doing the list, why we're doing them a certain way. I have one client in particular, she's 6 years old, and she's like, why can't I do this? And I was like, you are older. And she's like, I'm not old. And I was like, no. Did not tell you that you were old. I said that you are older, so some of our things don't work exactly the same as what you might see on YouTube with a 20-something showing you the exercise. So we just kind of what we're dealing with right now. We have new hips. We have old hips. like whatever that happens to be, we work within that. If you've been training your body to do one day for so long, we just have to maybe train around that or help that become more easier accessible. So it's just being able to have those conversations and pull their goals and figure out what those goals, how I can help them get there.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, so my next question would be like, working in this environment, was there any changes to the den that you have to make it more accessible for those type of clients? Or was it just in the way you approach or how you talk to them?
It's mostly in the way of the approach. So being a warehouse gym, it can be intimidating any way to walk in. I've had a couple senior specific clients or clients that maybe are on the system a little bit that find that sometimes the music's a little loud. So they may wear loops or they may you may turn down the music a little bit because most of the people, they honestly have their headphones in anyway. So it's just a space filler, if you will. So we do find that's probably the hardest thing, but that's something that we can get through pretty easily. The actual gym is very accessible. You can move around the gym pretty easily. You can. There aren't a lot of sharp corners. There are a couple. It's a warehouse. But you can really move around easily. We can find space that they're beaded, and we have a lot of accessible tools to make something shorter or have something taller or whatever that happens to be to make sure that the equipment fits up. And that goes for seniors to children that we were like adolescents that we work with too. So it really helps every person feel confident into the space. But it is the way that I talk. I'm not trying to make money off of my clients necessarily.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get them comfortable with themselves, comfortable in this environment. And my goal is to actually not was the best. My goal is to have them go off and do their own workouts and I can be a resource for them out of the bat. So it's really helping them understand they're not going to hurt themselves by going up weight. Let's work on your form and make sure also intuitive lifting and how does our body feel and figuring out like what is pain versus what is soreness. That's always the first one to figure out. Like they don't want to hurt their back, they don't want to hurt their necks, they don't want to hurt their shoulders. Same thing I'm worried about being in my late 30s.
That's right.
Exactly. So it's really just communicating with them and being very open about the fact that like it's okay. And also as they become competitive or they start competing with themselves a little, they're like, I'm not sadder than I was last week. And that's the whole conversation of strength is not linear.
Right.
You are going to hit a plateau and that's okay. So like figure out what that looks like and figure out what your goals are. And so it's all about that communication.
Well, I was going to say, you have made quite the cheer squad too, because Barty recruited my mother. It's like, I'm competing next year. So that speaks of volley. Yeah. Then, into my own personal experience of lifting in here, yes, the aisles are nice and wide. So, yes, there is stuff sometimes in the middle of the walkway. I'll find them with my cane, but I've also noticed how kind everybody is in this gym and very respectful. If I need something moved or something's in the way, in a second somebody's there. He's like figuring it out for me, or they'll basically just step out of the way and they see me through the cane. And I've also noticed like there's dogs here, right? Getting excited for my guide dog, my the accessibility of bringing them in and having a place for you to sit down along with working out after. So that's very cool. Oh, but question to you though is like, how have you have a transition from point A, B, when you started this office, you personally taking on this a big responsibility, a lot of challenges, and there's a lot of people in their, traumas and working through stuff. But how do you take care of yourself? And what are some of the things you've had to learn along the way working with people and building these programs?
Yeah. So I've actually been in group fitness classes in some capacity for over 10 years now. And it started also the same way. I always start with kind of break down the barriers to becoming fit, to getting ready to straight train. Because I had a lot of burgers when I was starting out in fitness. I started lifting when I was a senior in high school, and it was really difficult to continue because I didn't have the money for a membership. And then I learned how to lift from reading like cutting out magazines from like women's health back in the early 2000s. Um, that's how I learned how to lift because I didn't have the money to get a personal trainer or have somebody to guide me in that process. So when I be educated and have the experience to help others, uh, that's the full goal, is to break down those barriers. Now, breaking down those barriers is sometimes monetary, and sometimes that is I give away many free personal training sessions to people that I just want to be successful. Yeah. That's really hard on me financially, because time is hurry, if you're being honest. But I also believe in creating a space that is welcoming and understanding and knowledgeable and open and present. And so all of those pieces together, also where I starting here, I was working a full-time job. I'm still working a full-time job, and I want to be here. I am at the gym 6 days a week, unless I happen to be out of state. And so 6 days a week, I am in prime talking member when on the tour. I am being a people at the community, and that was a lot of time. My husband married into being a gym wife's or gym owner's husband, if you will. Uh, and so he also takes on some of those responsibilities. I have an amazing support group and friend group, and the employees here are amazing. And we all kind of come together to, right, when I look tired,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, do you need a break? Do you need me to come in? Whatever that happens to be. And we're really trying to be cognizant of that. Uh, but the other piece of it is I notice that I do need more time. I need time to spend with my family. I need time to lift on my own that's not getting interrupted, although I love the interruption. But I'm doing that by getting a new software help in the works and being able to have uh, stackless time so that the gym is more accessible to others at any time. And I can have some of my time back too. It's a bit of process, but
Well, I
like,
can imagine, yeah, because when me first met, you were explaining to me how not only does he take care of the gym, where that COVID, and then a ninja opened up almost directly after that. And so you had a major pivot through women-done business in the lifting community. It's just a feat on its own. Now you have a business that you're just like, oh my gosh, how do I pay the bills? Because cardio clientele decided to go get a big yeah, man. Well, what did those opportunities as the moment could have really heavy? What kind of life lessons did that teach you about who you are today?
so about a month before I totally took over ownership of the gym, a larger commercial gym did open up down across the way. And so some of the gym members that it was closer to, it was more financially accessible to that other gym. And that was a quick kind of shock to the system. But it was such a quick turnaround because the members that were here like had created a community here. They created a relationship here. They also want to get the few gyms in the area that has strongman equipment, that has the the calibrate and kilogram plates for powerlifting. We have a lot of different specialty base. We really support all of our lifters as well as our new lifters, our weekend warriors, that kind of thing as well. And so being able to just stay still, kept my full-time job, see, and did this on the side, if you will, had a lot of support for some amazing human beings that really like kept me engaged, kept me in focus.
Yeah.
And I the pivot wasn't terrible because I always knew it that way. And then we have some amazing people that come into the group. We have everyone that loves this gym talks about it all the time. And so we have a lot of people that maybe they don't have memberships. They come in for day classes when they're in town for holidays or when they're back from school or whatever that happens to be. And we're starting to really see our family unit growing and listing together, and our kids are growing up in the gym, and that's absolutely fantastic to see as well. So it's been more of a pivot to being using my resources as wisely as possible, but also making sure that not spending money frivolously, being able to use the money as I can, or it all feeds back to the gym.
Yeah. So is that something, financial is something other. I mean, so I talk a lot about blindness can come in many ways, right? It can come in a relationship, you can come in person, which you see, come in employment, and come in heritage. That's another pivot point. There's some point where you're just like, how the heck am I gonna make this work? In a what part or what happens that you started building trust in yourself that you can, like what was that?
Oh, it ebbs and flows. It ebbs and flows. Some days I am so confident, other days I am not. And that's business. It changes with the market. It changes with Vermont is not a great place to financially live, raise a family, do all those kinds of things. So a lot of people, it is the average date. A lot of people are me think, and I've actually had people ask, like, you live to gym and to here or here or here. I'm like, no, this is where I live. But uh it's understanding that you have people that are not at your core. So I'm always learning. Even after the initial, I was like, I went to when I initially was like, yes, this is happening. Went to my cousin who's a numbers person. I was like, can I make this work? She's like, yes. And I was like, great. And then every day is figuring out different ways to utilize my resources, to meet new people, to share new experiences. We have a beginner lifting because people wanted to come to the gym but weren't sure how to start. So I was like, okay, let's start a new group box. And then there's another group of people that are like the geeks and nerds that I was like, well, let me create this opportunity for you, and created like a D&D inspire lifting program. So it's finding new ways to connect with people. And that's what I do. I am a people connector. I am an event manager. I love to just talk and know people, figure out their stories and grow from that. So that's what I continuing to do as I keep building.
Like getting chills when you talk about it because like I too, as I lost my sight, is like, okay, we need to pivot and first reach out for support. Can be okay with that. As someone who's always super hyper independent, like I got this bare phone, I don't need anybody. To then finding like, okay, I need help, and I need to be okay with it. That's cool. And so finding that as I started to do that, I was building trust too and building me a bigger community. This is definitely bad. 100% part of it because I tell a story of like, I love running. I used to run like 6 miles in the morning. I have a couple dogs, love to go out. And I just found me at not on the roads anymore. Wasn't as safe as it used to be at times. I kept finding potholes or ruts, or I'd run myself off the side of the road into the ditch. Is this Vermont? It's Vermont. And so I'm like, I came in here and here you have these perfect treadmills and some kind of bright yellow, and I'm like, I can run, and I keep pushing it faster and faster, like, holy cow, I got like freedom again. I mean, I'm in a safe place and I have a solid footing. It was just like, it's just calling back to ice. Free points for me, and it's accessible to me because not all my rides will go up to a mountain and allow me to spread it, right? My ride has to go with me up there. They have to that snowboard with me to be a guide. These hotties is on. They have a radio, and I don't have a close community willing to do that. Where here, I can be independent. I can literally, I get rides here. I get dropped off. I say, take me off in 2 hours, girl, and sometimes it's like, oh, in 2 hours, why do you need those? Well, because I have to find my sick now. You have to figure along your photos. To be able to be dropped off and then picked up after someone sent Boshi taught me, we went to playing. It's just being more with it. So yeah, basically. But anyways, and your mom even started and like sending the list. So like that was just amazing because it kind of kept in hot a little bit, and then she just was like, I'm so inspired. She's like, I want to learn too. And my mom was like, that's where like I was like 10 years old. My mom had her name again, her listing mill. I was hanging out at the gym with her, And to see it come full circle, and like now she's thinking, like I said, she is so inspired to compete, which is amazing. Just to see her light up because I'm bench pressing with her, and oh, I didn't think I could do that too. I feel so strong. You are strong. So it's just remarkable as well. Any other ways and thoughts about, adaptive athletes and how the gym can use, not even necessarily support them here, but just for all year where it's adaptive sports, how important is that for somebody and just building their confidence and what that means done?
Yeah, I think lifting, weightlifting, general fitness is so important. We're finding that strength training itself has a positive impact on our brain health, as well as our overall body health. But it has such an impact on our brain health. So people uh, that before they're diagnosed with Alzheimer's or dementia, or even afterwards, it helps work those muscles. It helps get our bodies working well, so that when we are at the end of life or closer to the end of life, as we keep moving forward, that our body can still punch and it can still hold our heads up and it can still hold our bodies. And I think that is just so important, especially so we're talking about like senior media, they're aging in place and they're starting to grow older, but also coming into veterans and adaptive needs. Unfortunately, we don't have any of those special fitness for uh, missing limbs to be able to live. But there are so many right there, and I would love to be able to help somebody utilize those tools and resources in the fitness space, where there is an open concept. There is the ability to utilize. We have many different pieces of machinery that do the same things, but in a different way. So it might be a little bit wider, it might be more narrow, it might have a longer stance. So being able to work within their needs and be able to get open in themselves moving.
Right.
And in louder spaces, is that something that is triggering for them? Or in crowded spaces, or coming in at noon one day is different than coming in at 5:30 on another day. Is that so? Working towards the space, where there's outdoor things inside, right? Open up the doors in the warm weather and be above. It's a thing, but being able to get used to adapting in our surroundings is so important for just everyone.
And that's a big mission. The Blind Betty podcast, our company, is making this kind of stuff boards to right and adaptive sportsy networks, right? Yeah, I'm talking about. I was like, even snowboarding. If I said having a walkie-talkie system will set you back on this $400, right? So when you have something even more precise for specific injuries or accessible when remote lifting, that price tag goes up quite a bit. So recently that car is 100 make that a little easier so we can stay in this community, stay positive, hit our serotonin levels, so stay strong. So yeah, thank you. What you're using. Closing up, do you have any like quotes or music lines or anything that really inspired you or something you kind of well like?
The quote that I live by, I actually got tattooed on my arm when I was 19, and it is go constantly in the direction of your dream, live the life you imagine, is Henry David Thoreau. And I started really believing that. My mom always said, if I dreamt it, I could do it. I just had to put the work in to get it done. And so I dream big. And sometimes reaching those dreams takes a lot longer than I anticipated. But making sure that every day I'm doing something intentional to reach that goal is super important to me, and something that I really do go by every day, whether it's in the gym, whether it's in my business, whether it's in my personal relationships. I really do live by that.
It's getting yeah, amazing. Show them spider so you can take you and a fire tracker because the energy you have to carry is amazing. So
Try it.
thank you.
I'm tired.
Hi. So thank you so much for tuning in. This is Bridget with the Blind Betty podcast. And don't forget to buy your tickets for the raffle. And we're going to give away the snowboard soon. Thanks.